Okay, here I go. I'm trying to do this not so loud because my husband is here. We're at a meeting. My 8-year-old is here. Can't see him, but I just heard him run. Yes, you see him right there? Anyway, okay, so sorry, Clivia right there. Clivia is really cool for a very shady spot. It's also very overused, so it's sort of in that kind of category of like freeway plants, but nobody landscapes freeways with this because they're too sunny. But it gets used a lot, a lot. But it's a nice plant. It's about the only thing that will flower in the shade, but that's not true. Like hellebores will also flower in the shade. Um, but hellebores supposedly don't grow here, but that's not true either. So these varieties, like when they come out with the new Clivia, like if you're interested in this, I'm sure you can find stuff online, but it was like they were selling for like $1,000 a piece for Clivia. I don't get it. Anyway, it's a lovely thing. Thick kind of strap shape peduncle, I think, if it's an inflorescence. Really thick, and then these strap shaped leaves. Um, Also, what I was trying to show you is that the way that they come out, it's sort of as if they're flattened against a certain plane, and then they kind of emerge. Maybe you get a little bit of that. Like the leaves really go like that, and then they sort of flop out to the side. Clivia miniata is its name. Um, Emerged from its underground tuberous rhizome, and that slanty alternating way, like that. Almost seems like they're flattened, is what I was trying to say. Large and strap shape. The inflorescence has very bright, usually very bright orange flowers, which in a very shady spot is quite lovely. Most have bright orange, but there are new varieties and shades of yellow and different flavors of orange, like a reddish orange, a lighter orange, things like that. So it cannot tolerate frost. More warm zones, 1924, 12 and 17, but none of the cold zones. Of course, you can also grow it inside. Inside it wants bright, indirect light. It's hard to get information about the size. I mean, we have it growing here too. So the inflorescent stalk is about 2 feet tall, but the leaves are probably closer to like a foot tall, I bet. And the leaves flop out a bit. It's maybe got about, I think I say what, about a 1.5 to 2 foot spread from one individual plant, but then over time it also spreads. It's from the South African tropics. And then this was kind of an interesting one about its origin. I wish I could find the info that said when it was so wickedly expensive when they came out with the new color and people were like beating each other up to go get this Clivia. Anyway, whatever. To each his own. Coreopsis. Now, isn't that cheery and nice? So there's a field of Coreopsis. There's a bee covered in pollen. Look at those pollen sacs. My goodness. Just like going crazy on that Coreopsis inflorescence. Each one of those, right? Remember this? Little flowers. Yeah. And then there we have more Coreopsis. Now, if you didn't know, you could probably think this was Cosmos. It looks very similar. These guys are a little bit shorter than Cosmos, and Cosmos has leaves that are very ferny. These are more linear, like just, lance-shaped leaves. Also a little bit more, I don't know, dare I say, garish in color. I mean, there are some bright Cosmos, but Cosmos is also more like towards the pinky kind of colors, especially the Cosmos that's on our list. The other Cosmos, which is like sulphureous or something, gets really tall and it can be bright orange and bright yellow. But these ones are like bright red and orange and yellow all thrown together. So Coreopsis, and sometimes they have double flowers too. Okay, yeah, I thought tough enough for use in roadside beautification. I mean, that takes some serious flower force to be able to grow on the side of the freeway. And apparently Coreopsis has that, and it will also seed as well. So about 1 to 2 feet tall, so kind of low, about 3 foot wide spread. It is native to the southeast United States. It's a very nice perennial, keeps on blooming and blooming and blooming all summer long, which is kind of cool. Dark green leaves that have 3 to 5 lobes. I am so not seeing those lobes. I'm seeing more of like a strap shape there, but yeah, but that's straight out of Sunset. Go figure. Let me take that off. Just say dark green leaves, because I can stand behind that. And bright yellow flowers. Okay, and then we move in right along to a lovely, lovely flower. I mean plant, with the flower that I love, 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 love. I have this growing right now in my garden, and I'm totally enamored of it, like totally crazy about the foxgloves. Oh, interesting fact about foxglove too, just something to note, is that it is the source of digitoxin, yeah, which is a cardiac medicine. I don't know exactly what it does to your heart, but you shouldn't eat it unless you're prescribed that medicine. Apparently, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, it's poisonous. Okay. So it has really tall, like 4 feet or higher stalks, flower stalks. Mine, I think, are more like, I don't know, maybe 3.5 in my garden. And this is the second year they've been growing. The first year they were not nearly so tall. And they also got dense shade, because on the packet, and it says like, you know, they're supposed to get like 3 feet tall. So where I put them in the bed was behind things that got like 2.5 feet tall, except they grow as a basal rosette. So it's like there's all of these leaves. This is the ground. This is the ground. And there's all these leaves that grow out like this, and maybe even like up a little bit higher. And then the flower stalk shoots out and gets super tall, but there's like tiny little leaves going up the flower stalk, but they're little, right? The leaves at the bottom are like, you know, that wide. Can you see that? Anyway, it's weird. They're bigger at the bottom. Basal rosette is one of strategy of growing, and these have them. So if you were going to place them in a garden, you probably wouldn't want to put them where they got completely shaded out. Although in Sunset Western Garden Book, somewhere it says that they can take, they want partial or full shade. I don't know. It could be that that's why mine survived for the year, because they were so shaded in the back. Because it also says that mostly they will die out in the summer in hot climate places, which is here for sure. But partial or full shade. So they can handle some shade. In a cool climate, they can take full sun, but probably not our climate at all. So they need a little shade. Good to know. Clustered at the back of a border or in the middle of the bed to show off their lovely flowers. So they make a tall spike. Pendulous flowers that are much beloved by bees from Europe, Western Asia, and Northwest Africa. Oh yeah, so another thing is that these are a biennial or a short-lived perennial. So if they live longer than 2 years, it's a perennial. But what biennials usually do is in their first year, they grow vegetatively, they grow their leaves. And the second year is when they have enough oomph, juice to grow reproductive. So that's when they send up their flower stalks. But if you wanted to grow these and needed to have flowers the first year, there are some varieties that you can find that will flower the first year, but you have to look for those. I think it's the Dalmatian, and there's one other kind, I think. Mostly they flower the second year. That's all I need to say about that, I think. And then show you the cool pictures. The bees go crazy for these guys. Now mine never have that many flowers because we're not growing in Ohio or Canada or somewhere else where it has cold weather in the winter. Anyway, kind of lovely, I think. Okay, that's it, right? That was 3. Hooray, I did it. Bye.